Pat's personal portraits, fascinating people, fascinating lives, and certainly in this case, fascinating because I've known this guy for a long time, and I can guarantee you are a fascinating Darrell Ankarlo. Welcome back.
Good to see you, Pat.
Yeah, listen, we're talking about that day that really changed your life from an extremely popular, very successful broadcast personality to a guy who shows up here on this television segment to talk about being brain injured.
I'm hoping there's food in the place.
When did you first know? When did you first know that you could actually say, I am a victim of brain injury?
It was several weeks after the accident, perhaps even a couple of months. I lose track of time, and that's part of the traumatic brain injury. There are so many facets. But I credit you, and I'm not doing this because we're here. I'm doing this because you're a friend of mine, and it's true that you heard something on the air, hiccups and everything, and called a neurologist friend of yours who saw me that day, and he was the one who caught it and said, this guy doesn't just have a head injury, he has a traumatic brain injury.
And I had absolutely no idea, with no medical background at all, what the hiccups meant until I called Dr. Sabah, and he said, he what?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, he's hiccuping on the air. What a goofy thing to do
Yeah,
for a radio person.
Yeah, right.
And he said, get him in here today.
Right. And it all changed right there, Pat. And in my mind, somebody asked me, have I questioned God and, why me? And honestly, I've not one time said why, nor has my wife. But I have thought, what if I was 2 seconds later or 2 seconds earlier? The truck would have missed me completely. But as it is,
And it really changed your life
Yeah.
professionally, and it changed your wife's life.
It did.
Your relationship with your kids. That's getting better?
You know what? It's all getting better. Fabrics were definitely torn during the time because with the injury, I had some frontal lobe damage. And with that, you have an issue with filters. And I would say things to people that, you've known me for a while, and some of the things I say, it's like, I can't believe that. He never had filters to begin with, so take it from there, if that's your base, and realize that I was way over here.
Say some things to me now before we run out of time. Like, first thing, the foundation.
It's called the Ankarlo TBI Project. And
Traumatic brain injury, TBI.
Traumatic brain injury. And the issue is about 5.5 million Americans have TBI. Tens of thousands of our military are coming back with TBI, and they're not being recognized by the Veterans Administration, the VA. And as a result, a lot of these guys are killing themselves. There's anger issues, there's depression issues. I know these firsthand, and mine was an auto accident, not a bomb going off or an IED or something like that. So we started the foundation. Jimmy Wiseman from Republic West Remodeling, good friend of mine. And, in the early days of the injury when I was off the air, Jimmy would call and say, I'm coming over. And I'd say, okay. And I'd sit on the couch, and he'd sit on the couch. And sometimes there would be no talking at all. It was just, he was there just to spend some time. And so he and I were talking, and he said, you're not doing radio work, TV work. You need to be a voice, man. And so together we kind of came up with this idea. So on the 29th, Saturday, this coming Saturday, at 7 o'clock, we're having our very first kickoff to raise awareness for TBI and PTSD at the Republic West Remodeling headquarters.
So the general public can get involved.
Absolutely, and that's the whole idea, is to raise awareness, because it doesn't take a major accident or a major bomb going off. It could be a kid just falling off of his bicycle, or bumping his head in the living room, or a football kid in college or high school, and it's just the shaking of the brain inside the head.
What happens when we show up Saturday?
We're going to have a chef who's making great gourmet food, so that's cool. We're going to have some great music, and then my entire family is being flown in from various parts of the country, and we're going to share intimately what has happened to us through TBI.
If this hasn't been enough for me visiting with you, if I haven't exhausted my enthusiasm for visiting with Darrell Ankarlo, what time do I show up and where?
7 o'clock, 8101 East McDowell Road. And the fact that I remember that means I'm on my way to recovery.
Which makes it even more fascinating. This, another of Pat's personal portraits, and it really means a lot to me because it's my old friend, Darrell Ankarlo.
Thank you, Patrick.